What's up, guys? Mega Bleeder here with another episode of another episode of Dusty Hell. Between the episodes, I did what I said I was going to do. I went and got myself some diamonds. I made myself a diamond all-in-one tool, or diamond AOT. And also I did some other grindy work because the early game of this pack is super grindy. So let me show you what I did. Alright, so don't mind the zombies outside my perimeter wall here. It's not a perfect wall, but it is working. Every once in a while, something might spawn over here, but that's alright. Well, that's a perfect example of kind of what happens. We don't want these guys to blow up our face or anything like that. Luckily with creepers, if you break their line of sight, they're pretty easy to deal with. You can just kind of hide behind the wall and give them a little pop. So between the episodes, I did a ton of grinding. I've got a farm set up here, and on the crops, I have these crop supports from Pneumaticraft, which are just some compressed iron, which all you do is take some iron and blow it up. And luckily, TNT is super easy to get a hold of because we get a ton of gunpowder from sieving dust. And obviously sand we can just get from hammering gravel, so that's not a big deal. So basically, we started with a small farm. If you remember, like, we had this glowstone here and a couple little pieces. We started off with, I think it was potatoes and cantaloupe. And basically, you just use the bone meal you get from sieving dust to get a ton of crops. And then you throw those crops into a wooden barrel. You can see here I've got that automated here with some wooden hoppers. Just throw it in a chest, and then you get a bunch of dirt. And then the dirt you sieve, and then there's a ton of seeds that are available. And I have just ran a decent amount of dirt through my sieves downstairs to get all of our crops here. And this is currently what we have. Soybeans are super helpful. Peanuts, spice leaf, things like that, stock. So some of the best things to make are soups and the peanut butter and whatever sandwich. So we've got, I guess jelly. Jelly would be the best option to look. You can see here there's a ton of different jelly sandwich options. So that's probably what I'll go with. I did go ahead and make a lunchbox, which is just a little bit of iron. And I've got some veggie strips, stock, fruit salad, cantaloupe, and baked potatoes in there. They're not particularly great food sources, but they do work. So you can shift right click and open that up, and you can just hold right click and it'll eat from there. I also set up some transfer nodes. These are pretty cheap. Some stone, some more stone, redstone, glass. They're not crazy expensive. And I did make this mining upgrade here, which just takes a gold pickaxe and a base upgrade. It does take the resonator. This is a weird recipe because it doesn't actually use 8 blocks of coal. It only uses 1. These resonating redstone crystals just take an ender shard and an ender pearl. This glass cutter is actually a tool that has silk touch on it. And I think I have that, yeah, in my backpack here. So you can actually use it to silk. Okay, it doesn't work on leaves, but it does work on like glowstone, and it works on glass. So that is a nice option there. It might even work on clay. I'm not 100% certain. I also made a satchel, which is just kind of a simple backpack. Takes a little bit of tin, some leather, which you can just cook rotten flesh. Again, this says 4. It's a 1-to-1. I think this recipe here is a 4-to-1, but in a normal furnace, that's, again, not the case. If you come down here, you can see I've got 4 mechanical users set up under my sieves, And this is actually nice because if you just put your gravel or whatever in there, it will use it on this as long as you have it on right click, activate block with item. And actually, if you put more mechanical users in contact with the sieve, it makes it run faster, which is pretty nice. Do I have any gravel right here? I do have some dust, so I can throw some dust in here and I'll actually see it use it on there. And if you watch the progress, you'll see it tick like pretty quickly. And then I've got the range collector here set up with some item filters to go ahead and suck those things up. But I set up item filters, that way this range collector won't pick up anything extra. Like it didn't pick up my lunchbox there. All that stuff gets collected by this, and then I've got servos here. They're just basic servos. We could upgrade those in the future once we get Invar, and they'll work a little bit faster. These are extraction rate every 3 seconds, and it'll extract 8 items. This is every 2 seconds, and it'll take 16 items, but you can upgrade it up pretty high. This one's super quick, so... what else? I made up a bunch of these small storage crates. They're pretty cheap. It's just a bunch of wood, so some planks, some chests, and these wood casings. Don't take anything special, just more planks, sticks, and logs. I was experimenting with these EFLNs, which is just gunpowder and flint for mining. And I think I might end up using these in the future when we go exploring out into the world. What else did I do here that's worth noting? I sieved a bunch of leaves. So if you sieve leaves, you get a bunch of saplings. So that's why we've got a bunch of saplings here. Eventually, I will plant all of these because things like the almond, what else? Like apricots, if we hit uses on that, go to the sapling infuser. The apricot will make apricot jelly, I believe. Yeah, apricot jelly, and that'll be used for an apricot jelly sandwich. So eventually we'll get to that, and this is just some kind of extra nature stuff. Here's that resonator and a manual mill. These are the items for the item filter from Actually Editions. What else? I put down some mechanical users with some hammers. So this is like an on-demand craft, I guess, in some sort of way. I can take like cobblestone and put that in there. It'll place it down, and then this one will break it. Yep. And then it gets picked up by this vacuum hopper, which is actually pretty cheap. It just takes some obsidian, an eye of ender, and a hopper. But I could put gravel in here, and then it'll turn it into sand, and then you can use the sand for sieving, for aluminum, gold, black quartz, prismarine, silver, and then cocoa beans, which I don't know that there's like a use for. I guess if you want to dye everything brown. Whoops. I don't know. Chocolate liqueur, apparently. You can use that to make milk chocolate. Interesting. Let's throw that in there. Put that cobblestone away. So the crop supports actually make the crops grow faster. And then I also have greenhouse glass up here, which is pretty cheap. It just takes some glass, any saplings, any glass, any sapling, and a diamond, and that makes 3. So over the whole entire top of our farm here, I've got this greenhouse glass, except over the sugarcane. I don't think it works on sugarcane. So when I harvest all of our crops, they grow back pretty quickly because we have like 2 like growth augmenting things on them. And I've also got a vacuum hopper there in the middle. I don't have a chest set up for it. I probably should get a storage crate, but you can see this stuff is pretty quick to grow. I can just hold right click and just keep running around, and pretty much always has stuff grown for me to be able to harvest, which makes it pretty easy to get a decent amount of water, as well as dirt. And obviously, those are two things that we don't have a great access to. For my water automation, up here I can throw in like cantaloupes, I can throw in potatoes, this cassava. I use that to make water, and then I've got a little, this was a clay automation here, so I can put dust in here. Barrel fills up, this pulls out the dust. But yeah, this is making water. I gotta collect all of this stuff. I've just been kind of stocking up on everything, trying to get a good amount of resources. Eventually, I'll make up a kitchen, which will make it a lot easier to make things, because currently, you know, I've got my cookware in here, and these can be upgraded. If you go with the cooking for blockheads, you can use these items to make a multi-block kitchen. So you can connect it all with a floor with some quartz and black coal, or you can use concrete. This one's maybe a little bit more efficient. Like, we've got a ton of coal. We don't have a ton of quartz yet, but quartz won't be too hard to get once we get soul sand. We'll have access to that, and it's pretty decent drop chance with the string mesh. Eventually, we'll make it better with steel, dark steel, and Enderium plated end steel. That seems like it's kind of end gamey, but it's all good. What else? Anything else in particular to note? I don't think so, so let's go ahead and get cracking. Oh yes, one more thing. I wanted to get a little base started. So I dug down pretty far. I put a slab roof on top. So eventually, when I go to move out of this area here, which was, you know, our temporary shelter, we'll move down here and start other automations. I still have a floor. I still have to put down a floor and walls, stuff like that. We can always expand that direction or that direction. The easiest way to expand that I found was to take a pressure plate, and you can break a block. Let me see if there's a good area that makes sense to demonstrate this. Let's see, we'll just come down here. So if I came down here, what I do is I just put the pressure plate in my offhand, and then I break the bottom block, and I just let them all fall on it like that. And that works out pretty good. Okay, so what I want to work on today is making some more quest progress, because I didn't do a whole lot. I completed a couple of them that are just kind of random ones, getting some jerky and stuff like that. So this one, all we need is some silver. So let's grab some silver. Let's see, I got silver there, so that's going to complete that quest. We got a better flux capacitor. And here, the leadstone thruster, is it just one? Is it just one thruster? What can we use a thruster for? A leadstone thruster. That gives us the option to make the jetpack. But we don't really have a way to charge it. Get another flux capacitor. What is there a charger of some sort, a wired charger? That's obviously out of the question. The infuser? Energetic infuser? No. Infuser. Infuser. This guy is a little bit down the road. I don't think there's a good way to charge anything. I mean, we have this flux capacitor, and we have another one here that has power. But I think those might be reserved for doing something with this. If I shift right click with this, Is that going to charge this? Yeah, that is charging that. Yeah. So that's kind of a way to just to keep that thing charged up. So let's take the extra power. Let's take the hardened cell. This wants fluid, item, and leadstone ducts. So let's store that. I've got some fluid. We are going to need glass for the leadstone, right? And going to need redstone. So let's grab copper, tin, and lead, I think is what it is. So I'll make a set of those. Make a set of those, and make a set of those. That'll get that quest done. So we get a strong box, which is nice. Another capacitor, and a portable fluid tank. That's very nice. We could use that for storing lava, or we could use it for storing water. We're really close to being able to craft up some more stuff relative to that as well. I'll throw that glass in there. These strong boxes are nice because they do retain their inventory. So I can pop those in there, and then if I pick it up, it retains its inventory. I think it still retains its inventory. Maybe not. Oh, no, it does. Okay. Yeah, so we can take all these strong boxes on exploration missions, which will be nice. Let's drop those in there. Redstone can go in there. Let's put this lead back up here. I don't have everything organized super well just yet, but we are going to be working on fixing that. Now, I don't have enough bones to finish this, and I don't have quartz because I haven't gotten to soul sand yet. Now, I could get to soul sand, because mycelium, you can I can take these ancient spores and click that on dirt. So that's definitely an option for that. But what I wanted to do was take a look at this guy. It says, maybe if you build an antenna or a radar, you might find something hidden on this dusty hell. Trademark pending of a planet. So if we make this guy, it takes iron, aluminum, some other resources. So let's see. For making our iron, we're going to need a block of that, or 2 blocks. We're going to need, ooh, I need some more aluminum. Need a gold ingot. I think I have more aluminum pieces here. Silver, tin, platinum. And I'm going to grab just one, because currently we don't have a way to duplicate our ores. But that should change here pretty soon. So 3 aluminum. So I'll wait until this guy pops out. There we go. And a block and some. So if we do this, boom, this, bam. Oh, I need one more iron apparently. I'm so good at math. I know that 9 plus 9 is 16. So we'll do that. We'll do these. Bingo, bango. Recipe was like this. Communications disk. Let's go ahead and throw this up on the roof. Feel like that's going to be an appropriate area for that to go. Neat. You can see all the mobs out there, and that's our roof for our underground base. Basically, to get the ender pearls that I needed for the vacuum hoppers, I just came up here on the roof and, you know, locked eyes with an enderman, and then I went and hid in this doorway. When they come up, I punched them. This is the first time this is caught on fire. Interesting. Don't know how I feel about that. So let's take a look here. We got our 2 blocks of iron back. Now I think that unlocks this. So it says if you're going to explore this planet, you're going to need to get prepared. Tons of water, flasks, food, a bedroll, and anything else you can muster. So the sleeping bag shouldn't be too challenging. Purified water is not a big deal, but the hang glider, I'm going to need a lot of leather for that. Now, the best way to get leather is just cooking the zombie flesh. So I probably... let's see, because I only have 4 leather. And that is not going to get me enough. I need 12. So I am going to go out, see if we can't scrounge up 12 leather from all of the zombies that have recently perished in the area. I just have to find where they were at. So I'm going to go look around and see if I can find that out here. All right, so I got my leather. I went out and killed a bunch of zombies in my diamond armor. Actually, you know what? I probably am going to want to take that with me. But I grabbed some sticks, and we need 2 glider wings and a glider. I grabbed up all of our water that we're going to need. And let's see, let's grab our strong boxes. I do have a lot of durability left on that guy, so that's not a big deal. I do know that we're going to want to pillar up pretty high, and I'm probably going to want a good amount of ladders as well. So let's do this. Yeah, that works. Boom, bam. There we go. So we take this, we're going to get, we get a cheeseburger and a choice reward, a red heart or a grilled cheese. I'm going to go grilled cheese. The red hearts, I believe, yeah, we get these from mobs. So that's not terribly important. I don't think I'm going to take all 10 bottles of water there. I think 8 is probably going to be totally fine. And then if I put that grilled cheese in there, that is... Let's see. That's a pretty good food source. Hamburgers are a pretty good food source. I could probably get rid of the stock. So let's, oh no, my chicken died. When I went out there, there was a chicken jockey. And I brought the chicken home. Oh, wait. Oh, he didn't die. Where is it? I just heard it. Did you guys hear it? Ah, here he is. He just shedded a feather, that's all. Oh, I put some dirt down. That way we could do some bone meal and stuff so we could get like flowers and stuff like that. It's not something that I need, but it was something that, not something we need right now, but it was something that was just on my to-do list. So what I'm going to do now is, if we take a look, nothing but dust. That's what I thought when I first landed here. However, it seems that at about negative 750 on the X and plus 750 on the Z axis relative to my current position, there is a foundry complex. So I'm going to make a waypoint on my map. We're going negative 750X and plus 750Z. So I believe I can hit B. Yeah. So we got to add 750 to this guy. Now, if you guys have been following along at all, I say never. Let's see. Negative 290 plus negative 750. That's 1040. And it was plus 750 here, right? So 1676 plus 750, 2400, 2426. Is that correct? Let's see. Yeah, that's correct. So I've got to go 1,000 blocks that way. So what I am going to do is build myself a little pillar here. And I suppose this feels like a relative position to do it. So I'm going to build this pillar up with 2 stacks of cobble, and I'm going to build a ladder up to the top of it as well. And then I'm going to come right back. Okay, this may have been overkill, and I'm not going to lie, like, IRL, I'm afraid of heights, and just being up here like this kind of makes me worried, especially if since this is a hardcore world. So let's have ourselves a little snack, maybe our last meal. Now with the hang glider, it should be you just right click while you're falling and it should activate. Yeah, so now we just glide. So we'll glide all the way down to the bottom here. And then I'm going to put a ladder up. And I'm going to do that now. I mean, I could do it in the future when I come back and I want to use that again. But I think doing it now is going to make the most sense. Ha. So I should be able to just do this and climb all the way up to the top. So again, I'll be back once that's done. Okay, so here we are up at the top. Now that's 1,000 blocks away. So let's head over there. If we go into F5, we'll see ourselves gliding through. And if we hit shift, we kind of sprint. I'm not crazy worried about that. And I might not, that might not have pillared up high enough. Look at that. We're not even going to make it that far. Interesting. Ooh, you know what? I didn't mark my home. So I'm going to go back and do that. And then, you know what? With the hang glider, oh, you know what? Now in retrospect, the hang glider and the jetpack probably would have worked really well together. Is there a jump modifier? Slime boots? Ooh, slime sling. And we make slime cheese curd. Jellyfish? Slime boots would be nice to have, but I don't know if there's a good way to make slime. The slime boots would be really nice to have, but I don't know if like slime mechanics are like vanilla. But I'm gonna go back home, set a waypoint for home, and then I'm gonna go back up the pillar. All right, so I went home, set my waypoint, and I actually grabbed a bucket of water too because I had an empty bucket, but no bucket of water. Which an empty bucket is not gonna do a whole lot to cool you off if you're getting overheated in the desert. So I grabbed that, and it actually worked out a little bit because I left here and it's nighttime. As you can see, we're making our progress towards our first waypoint here. I feel like with the glider, you should be like cooling off, right? Because you're like flying through the air at however many meters per second. There's a... isn't there like a speed thing? Or maybe that's on a newer version where you can tell like how fast you're going. Oop, the world is going to load in here in a second. We're going to get a big chunk of load in. Here we go. Now, from what I understand, these buildings with the orange are the ones that I am looking for. And there are zombie pigmen here around and blazes. And I'm going to go ahead and drop down in here. Now, I don't think these guys get mad. Now, I don't know how they feel. If I break or if I open a chest. I would really like to have... Should have brought some blocks. Okay, so they're not angry yet. Now, I'm not certain. Ooh, they are mad if I break the bookshelf. Let's see. Use the glider to get down. Now, they might be angry. I think they are. The Blaze definitely are not happy. So I can open the chests. I don't think I can break the bookcases, though. Oh, you know what? I can. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm really worried. They're not attacking me. Let's go in here, because I know this is a POI that I should be interested in. So let's do this. Oh, okay. Okay. Now, maybe this building is not a relative building? Brownstone? Is there a use for brownstone? Now, from what I understand, let's see. From what I understand, they don't want you to break these structures. So if you break the structure blocks, they get angry. Block of iron. I want to take that. Okay, I think it's okay so far. Now, there's this factory block here. Now, these might be what they get mad at if you break. Or what they might get mad about. Is there a shield in this version? There is a shield. I should have made the shield, and it's cheap, too. Let's see if I can get out over here somewhere. Doesn't look like it. Zombie there. He's a giant. I don't think he can fit in here, but me attacking him is gonna aggro the rest of them. Let's take the bookcases. Oh, you know what? They're mad. They're angry. They're angry. They're angry, I think. Oh, they're pissed. That's not good. Okay, so let's see if I can lock myself in this room. Oh! Okay. 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 Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Okay. So we're gonna have to, go back home there. So let's do this. We gotta save that shell. Okay. So I've got to get back over there. Fun. Okay, so I re-geared myself. I had to go out into the night to hunt some more zombies, to get some more flesh, to get some more leather, to make another glider. This time I've got full emerald gear and an emerald AIOT or AIOT, whatever, the Paxel. So hopefully this time I don't epically fail again. Now we know, don't break bookcases. So hopefully when I get there, they're not still angry. That would be awesome. That would be way better than if they were still angry. I think my grave I have to break. And then the items kind of plop out. So I'll bring you back once I get there. You can see here I got full emerald gear. So I'll be back. All right, we're pulling up to the enemy position now. So our grave should be over here. Yep, there's our grave. Doesn't look like there's anything near us, which is good, Coming for a nice soft landing. Let's break all this and pick up everything. Let's get a chest down. Let's see, I want to keep that. Let's Hmm. Put a decent amount of the water in there. I'll keep a dust on my hotbar. I don't need a hang glider. Or I don't need... Yeah, I only need one hang glider. Would be fine. Don't need that. So hopefully this will be okay. Now I believe in here we should be able to find some smeltery stuff. I think maybe... Oh yeah, here we go. Let's see. Now I don't know if they get mad we're breaking these things. But these seared bricks, these scorched pavers, stuff like that, these are important. I should, if I'd have known there was going to be this much dust, I would have brought some pressure plates. Ooh, there's a spawner there. Should be able to break that. Now, are you going to be angry? No? No? Okay, okay. A broken spawner, alright. Glad he didn't get mad at that. That was good. And there's... I think usually this area is a lot more, like, cleared out. I don't have anything that would work particularly well for breaking this dust, unfortunately. Now, if I attack you... Hopefully that wasn't a bad idea. I didn't hear it aggro a bunch of them, so we might be okay. Let's see, I don't know how big this smeltery area is. How far out these bricks reach. Doesn't look there's any behind there or there. Looks like there might be some behind there. Yeah. So I am going to clear these out. Now this should be safer now that it's daytime, but I'm going to be suffering from the heat. Which obviously is not a good thing. So I am going to look around a little bit more and see what I can see. And then we'll get out of here, I suppose. Hopefully try and get out in one piece. Orange concrete. Okay, so that has contents in it. We do this one. Put a bunch of this stuff in here. Just to get rid of it. We should be able to go and loot. Cauliflower, I don't need that. Now, there are a lot of chests throughout here. Giant skeleton. I can't... I don't know if I can break that chest. I can't get into it, and I don't think I can break that block above it. Let's see. I think I was mistaken earlier. Ooh, this is... Oh, ooh, look at this. Corned beef breakfast. I'll take that. Orange juice. I don't have peas. I think I do have an orange sapling. Spaghetti. Don't have that. Take that stuff. Pumpkin juice. Dates. Poppies. Corn. I don't need those. Arrowroot, peppercorn. Oh, I'll take that. Let's see. Bread, tomatillo, cactus. Oh, this place has got me worried, man. So let's dump a bunch of stuff off in here. I want to take the food. I want to keep the food out. I'm going to use that, I think. So hopefully these guys don't, like, freak out on me. Because if they just go berserk, like, out of nowhere, I am totally dead. There's way too many of them. Even if I just, like, turn and run. Don't need pineapple. Don't do that to me. I don't need peanut either. Peppercorn, tomato. I didn't have tomato yet. Oh, I really want these bookshelves, though. I should have brought some EFLNs. But I don't know if those would have counted, like if they damaged the pigmen. I don't even know if you guys can hear me. Oh, that scared me. Oh, let's get all the looting I can done while it's still daytime. So I think that's possibly saving me from any blaze spawns. Let me know if you guys know about what I should be searching for, if there's a particular building. Or what blocks I can and can't break. Obviously, I think dust is okay. Huckleberry? I think I have huckleberry. Let's see. I don't know how long I can stay over here without having some serious overheating issues. Oh, a filled flask? I'll drink that. That'll help. Don't know if... Oh! Broke a building block accidentally. Okay, they're not super mad yet. That's good, okay. Let's go down here. Looks like there's some easy chests. I would love to be able to loot this area for these building blocks. I guess I could probably go through and break a ton of the spawners. Chili pepper. I don't... I might have chili pepper. I might even have red hot chili peppers. Ooh, what's that? A Futura block. Is that some sort of indicator? Ooh, this area. Wait, is this just a bottom floor? I don't think that's anything. I think it might just be a building that's... Oh, no. Bamboo shoot, don't have that. Well, that's definitely a building that's lootable. That roof area looks like it might be indicating something. I should have brought some blocks to mark which places I've already been, because I think I'm going into a lot of buildings I've already been in. Let's see. Big look maybe in this building here, and then I think I'm gonna head out. Yeah. Cauliflower, I have that. Yeah, I think I already checked this building. Now, from what I thought, that the buildings that had the orange concrete were markers for something. Well, there's a spawner in here. So maybe it is something. So let's look around this place. Oh, here's some more scorched bricks. Okay. There's a spawner. Don't want that. Let's put down this strong box. I was about to break that. I was standing right underneath some area where dust would have fallen, collapsed, and probably tried to kill me. Oh, there's a tank. I could suffocate these guys. Like... Oh, there's another spawner in here, apparently. There we go. There's another smeltery. Interesting. What's that? Wood. Another spawner. Okay, so all three of the orange buildings do have materials that are useful. Now, I don't think I can break this brownstone. Is that useful for anything? No. Okay, so that means that there is something in this building. Or there should be something. Or there... Oh! Oh, there's a spawner. Okay, let's find the spawner. Find the spawner, find the loot. Nickel? I have nickel. I'm not too worried about that. Oh, I am dying to thirst. Which means I need... Not that one. Not that one. This one. There we go. I don't know how random these, like, I don't know, cities are. Like, are these normally this covered with this dust? Not finding anything in here. I didn't find the spawner. It's back to being nighttime again, which is not fun. The blazes are starting to spawn, and I don't want any part of that. So I think it's just time to run home. I do have 2 stacks of dust. So I think I'm just gonna head out of here. Yeah. So I am going to pillar up and head back home, and I'll meet you once I get back there. Ooh, I was just pillaring up here, and I looked up in the top left, and this is a slime chunk, so I didn't realize that the slime chunks were marked, so I could get those slime boots I was talking about earlier. I just have to dig out a chunk down to, what, like Y40 or something like that? Then slimes will spawn. Alright, let's go home. Alright, there she is. Home sweet home and our pillar to the heavens. Let's turn off our waypoint. We hold shift, we'll descend real fast. Nice looking little oasis, I would say. We can drop and then click and then drop and then click and bam, look at that. Okay, now I want to take all that off and let's store it in there and grab a couple of things. Let's put this water in there and let's set out our strong boxes in a place where we can take a look. That one's empty. This one's got a bunch of junk. It's got a bunch of our gear in it. That can honestly stay there. Let's take out our water. I'm going to clear some of the tedious things out and get everything consolidated into one chest, into one, like, coherent chest. I'll probably put in this storage crate. Alright, so this is what we got. I've got some saplings here, and I'm not certain if these are all new. So my last guy here is cactus. So we had orange. Ooh, peppercorn. That's actually a really good one. Mango, that's new. Cherry's new. Date's new. Persimmon, that one's not new. And breadfruit. Oh, what is breadfruit? Breadfruit. Apparently, it's used in just a couple of recipes. I don't know what breadfruit is. Comment below if you know what breadfruit is. I'm pretty certain all these seeds are brand new. We got a couple of juices here. These are actually pretty nice. Beets. Don't know how to get beets. Apparently an end city, a dungeon, a mine shaft, or a woodland mansion. Is there another, like, beet? That makes beets. Okay, so we can get beets. And then melons. But the big thing here is these versions of this guy. And I can actually take those and I can chisel these. Yeah, I can chisel those back into regular bricks. And I also had cooked up some seared bricks here because I was anticipating this quest, and we're gonna need glass. So if we take 8 cobblestone, we craft that guy into a furnace. We surround that furnace. Oh no. That's a seared furnace controller. I need the smeltery controller, which will be this guy. Oh, which is just like that. Okay. So I didn't need the furnace yet. I know that I do need a tank. And is there a cheaper one? I don't think it really matters. I mean, I could use this one. Slightly cheaper on those, I think. But it's totally fine. It's cheaper on glass. And then I'm going to need 2 faucets and a drain. And that's a completed Tinker's Smeltery. Let's go take a look. Now, I'm not certain what all I'm going to need this for, but I do know that I have space over here to be able to put it down. So I know lots of people like to build their smelteries in 3x3s. I do not. We don't do 3x3 smelteries on this channel because I do not like the way that they accept items. I'm so used to having my, let's see, we'll put the tank there. So used to having my pickaxe on 2. We can put our smeltery there. Our drain can go on the corner. That'll be a good spot. Those can go there. And these can go there. That should be a valid smeltery. Fantastic. Those guys are angry. Now I can place these down. And let me get 3 more. So each, like, open, full block space is a smeltable item. And now that we have that set up, I'm going to go and make another bucket. Actually, fluid duct. There, oh wait, I think the other one takes the hardened one. I believe that, so I could use this guy as well. That is an option, but the hardened fluid duct takes Invar and lead. But I think I'll just use a bucket for now. Now, can I make the bucket out of other ingots? No, it's just iron. That's all right. So we can do this. And we've got infinite lava set up there, and I will need to dig this out just a little bit. That doesn't need to be on fire. We'll put that there and that there. And now we can ore double, which is really nice. Now I think, I'm not certain about this version. I probably should have grabbed 2 levers, but I can take all of this. And all of this will now double. Let's grab a hopper after we break our ankles. So we'll take our wooden hopper. Place that down there. We'll chuck those in there. Throw that in there. Now I should probably just put it there. And that'll be all right for now. And these guys are going to melt down into 2 ingots. So we've got ore doubling. Now I could put it into the high oven. Let's see. High oven melting. Yeah, and that'll get 3. But this guy, I need to put seared stone over bricks. So I might eventually move to doing that. I just heard. Didn't you just No, I'm not certain if that's going to continue to pour out like that, but I need a chest and 2 hoppers. I suppose it probably would have made more sense to start building down here. Put that smeltery down here, but everything so far in the base is more or less a proof of concept. And then eventually, once I get a lot of stuff placed down, I'll start rebuilding. So if I do that, that's not going to keep pouring. That's kind of a bummer. But if we have a clock, that would work. So let's do that. I could also use the fluid transfer node for this. Let's close that door. And what did we need? We needed 4 redstone. 2 stone. We need 5 redstone. A stick and 4 stone. Like so. And we can take the lever. Now with the clock is weird because it also turns it off, but it is automated, and I could click that and it'll turn it off. So we're gonna get a lot more iron now, which is really well, a lot more of all of our ores. That's why I actually didn't process the other ores that I had. That's why I didn't smelt down all of this, because I knew that we were gonna have doubling soon, and I think actually we're gonna move into the high oven here. We're going to move into tripling here pretty quick. We can do alloying with it. Must be exactly 3 by 3. Be any height from a minimum of 3. Taller structures increase the number of items that can be smelted, the liquid capacity, and the max internal temperature. It requires a floor and a ceiling along with a frame around the structure. Let's see. Block chutes, ducts, drains. Faucets can be attached. Pumped in and out. Hoppers or other item pipes can be attached to do all of those things. Oh, nice little build guide. Interesting. That's real trippy. Flipping it around. Hardcore. Okay. So we'll need to make the high oven. So we'll need some seared stone cast over some bricks. Seared stone, we can just do cobblestone or stone. Would be totally fine. 1 ingot. 18 millibuckets. I'm not sure how much 18 millibuckets is. We could go this route. Oh, no, I don't have access to ice. But we could get ice kind of soon. Kind of soon-ish. Let's dump that in there. Let's see. We got that. Clay or bricks? I'll take the bricks. That'll save us like a smelting step. Now this guy says we found another signal source. This time it's this far away. Something tells me it's going to be even more dangerous than the last time. I can make my own circuits, but extra ones wouldn't hurt. Okay. So this is going to be a minute down the road because I got to do like pressure chamber and a whole bunch of stuff to get to that point. I did make the grindstone because I need electrum to be able to make the vortex tube so I can make more like cold drinks and stuff like that. So let's see. All this is good. I need a lot more bones. I do need to build a mob farm. And let's take a look. Let's take a look at our iron situation. How's it going? Oh yeah, look at that. Nice. We got a ton of iron. So, I think that's probably going to be a good wrapping up point for today. Chisel, bucket. I don't need this Invar sword. My Emerald AIoT is definitely better. So I think that's probably going to wrap it up for today. Between the episodes, I think I'm going to go ahead and smelt down all of these resources and get us set up that way. I think I'm going to automate the lava into these buckets, or the lava into this tank with a transfer node. And I'm going to do some more stuff. I'm going to get the peanut butter sandwiches made up. I guess the jelly sandwiches made up. So I'm going to mark that because we've got sugar. Sugar's not too big of a deal. We've got our grindstone now. I did a little bitty automation over here. So I've got water being pumped out of this wooden crucible and into these barrels. And then I just put sand up here and put filters on this guy to blacklist outputting sand. Or yeah, blacklist sand coming out. So we've got some soul sand so we can get some nether quartz. And we needed the nether quartz to be able to make our grinder there. But we got a decent amount of quartz, and we've also got nether wart now. So I'll need to make some more soul sand and get this nether wart planted up. I don't know that it's useful for anything right away. I guess potions? Maybe? Let's see. Maybe eventually when we get to the vat, I guess. But the next episode will be probably automating our resource production. So automating the block breakers into gravel, and then gravel, sand, dust, and using those on sieves. I will probably end up putting in a floor and some walls and a ceiling. I had a creeper accident there, and we'll probably actually dig down, probably put some stairs like over here, and we'll have a vertical base here. That'll be pretty neat, kind of like a little underground silo that we're staving off the heat from. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the pack so far. If there was something that I skipped over a little bit too quick, let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to go back through it, or to give a little bit more of an explanation on it. I gotta remember to harvest my crops here so I can have water. We've got lots and lots and lots of automations to set up in this pack, especially here in the beginning. You know, kind of starting with nothing and trying to rebuild so we can get off of this planet and rebuild our lives. So that's going to be it for today. I'm going to go sit in my water and cool off because I'm overheating. Thanks for stopping in.